I think last class we did some postman things. Today what we are going to do is we will create one consumer website and then we'll try to consume that. Okay, so let me open that website. Oh, sorry, web API. Okay, so now let's go to run this. I just opened the service one. I didn't do any changes as of now, just running it. Make sure it is up and running, and whether postman testing or consumption directly in another website or so, but you must be sure that it is up and running. So I just made it up and running. Okay. So should I go to that web API, and here I will write the heading, how to consume web API. Like as I said, it may be any technology, but we are not bothering about other technologies because we are .NET professionals. So we will assume that my service is also in .NET and my consumer also in .NET. Okay. So first I'm completing the flow, which is minimum required to proceed with. Then slowly, as per our project requirement, I will go on giving you, and then more and more about the security side, authentication side, authorization side. Those things slowly we will be doing more. But currently, just assume that how to complete the workflow at least. One web API is returning the data, and one consumer website is consuming the data. Take it that way. Okay. So what to do now? We have to develop one MVC application, isn't it? So let's develop an MVC application, and then I will start the recording. I will open the database as well. As I have told you, your website who is consuming, that also may have one database, isn't it? Chance is there. Like I gave the example, IRCTC is the service provider and travel agency is the service consumer. Now, in the travel agency also, that there will be one database, right? Apart from this railway reservation, other things they might be already maintaining in one database. So that's why I'm opening database as well. So assume that you have one website or web application which is already having one database, but railway reservation oriented data is not available in their own database. That is available in Indian Railway government database. So they have exposed on service and we are consuming on service. So today we are working for whom? We are working for the travel agency. Take it that way. Our developer group is working for that travel agency, not for the IRCTC. Okay. So till yesterday, till last class, we assumed that we are working for IRCTC. So we developed the web service. Now we are going to consume the web service. So this database what we have created, this is for that side, service side. But we may have another database which is for our consumer side. But we may not have database also, it depends. Okay. So let's create a new project. And I will take it as MVC application. I will name it as, I will give some names which will be easily understandable that this is consumer and that is service. So here I will say consumer underscore should I say reservation service? I mean reservation service consumer, this guy. Okay. I named it like that. So that means in one hand, my service is ready here, which is up and running. In other hand, my consumer website, just now we created a blank website. Inside that, what to do or not to do, those things we have to plan it nicely. Okay. Let me start recording. This application again depends. It may be having 3-tier, n-tier, whatever as per the requirement. So at least let's have one more layer. Not new item, new project. Library. Consumer repository. In this consumer repository, I will write those code which is to communicate with the local database. But in controller layer, I will write those code which is to communicate with the external services, right? So I just created one library for your understanding. It depends upon the situation whether really you have another database locally or not. Every website will have definitely one database. That I'm just preparing that infrastructure. So here a repository and struct and repository model. Totally up to you. If you have any database communication in the local area, go ahead. If no, then directly jump to your controller. So I will create a controller here. This is application architecture, so simple controller. I'll name it as something like consume my or consume IRCTC service controller. Must postfix the word controller. So this one I will copy and I'll change it as a default. Okay. Now in our service we have 3 services. One is for displaying all the data, one is for displaying few data, one is for saving the data, and so on and so forth. So first let's try with all the data, this one. So get all the reservation data. So there also I will say index action method. Okay, this will be HTTP get. If you don't give also, it will be HTTP get. Now here what I will do, I will consume my application here, your endpoint URL here. Okay. Let me follow the API document then. Okay, as I have told you, one API document will be prepared and sent by your service provider. So assume that this is our API document. They have provided all these endpoint URL and so on and so forth, right? Even what is the format of the data will return, what is the parameters you will make capture, everything they might have given, right? So assume that from the API document you came to know that this particular method which you are going to consume, it is returning list of rail reservation, and that rail reservation is having this format. Okay, so according to same format you are going to prepare one application side model. So I will go to model and I'll create a class. I will name it as same. So let me go to this below and paste it for a minute and take this name of the class, and with the same name you prepare a class. Name of the class can be different also, guys, no problem, but the structure of the data should be same. That means imagine you are giving XYZ name also. Inside that, what property you are giving, that matters. So your API document shows these are the property your API is going to return. So if API is returning this property, then obviously you have to hold that property. Hold that data, list of that data. That's why I copy pasted the same property there, but class name can be anything. This key and all I'm not taking because it's not that model class which is going to prepare one database or table or something. So no need for key, simply properties you take and paste it. So should I take this properties and paste it there? Because these are the data, list of rail reservation is going to be returned by my service provider. So based on your API document, you also prepared one class which would contain those properties what are coming back from the. Everything here it is type specific, guys. If you remember in our edu.net, whatever database was returning, we are consuming it through data table or data set like that, right? Because that time we don't do anything called type specificness. But MVC, entity framework, these are the combination where everything is type specific. That means object of a class, list of object of a class, generic collection of a class. So these are all type specificness. That's why you are preparing one type specific class. Then what else you have to take care? Endpoint URL. Okay, already that endpoint URL might have been shared by this. Okay, so first we will call this one. So let me copy and paste it below. Yeah, you are saying something? Yes. So go to this. Your voice is breaking, not able to understand. I will copy this bunch of code and take it, and then I will change it. See what I'm doing here in line number 10. Line number 10, I'm replacing this endpoint URL. So our endpoint URL is this. So just copy that endpoint URL collected from the API document and put it here. This endpoint URL has two parts, I have told, right? So first part is the parent level. That means up to port number / right? So up to port number / you keep it in the base URL. Base URL, parent URL, both are same. And in child URL part, you keep the rest of the things. Then list of what you are going to consume, you check it out. So in your API document, they might have given that we are sending list of reservation, rail reservation class. Somewhere they might have written that. So based on their structure, based on their response, they might have already written in the API document. So what is the response here? Response is list of rail reservation, this one, right? So that one you have to use in your consumer side. Okay. So now imagine you have taken different name. Your service side is rail reservation. You have taken XYZ. Then here you have to write XYZ. As simple as that. Because your website who is consuming, that is containing this class and that is having this property. So property should be same, but class name can be anything. So whatever you name, that you have to give here, right? HTTP client is the class whose object has to be created. I will tell you what it is using. Using is something, using block is something which defines your local scope of the object. Imagine in this line I created an object. Then the moment this code will be executed fully, that object will be automatically put in the garbage collector. So that unnecessarily lot of object will not be retained in the main memory. Now coming to the child URL. Okay. Child URL is the rest part of the URL under port number. Then comes response. Here, if you want to go for awaited functionality, then you have to use async. Okay. Any function which is calling awaited functionality, it should have async keyword. And this one you have to include inside a delegate called task. Now that will allow you awaited functionality. Why we use awaited functionality here? Because if by chance 2-3 function I am calling, then if 2-3 function I am calling, then parallelly both all of them they should run without disturbing anyone else. And if control is going to this functionality to call the data, to collect the data, then that time rest of the function should wait for that. Once it splits, then other threads can continue. So
सुबह I'm sound going minute close आता
in this function, other people should not disturb me. Maybe this data called response will be used by other people or other threads. So I said awaited. If I will not make await, what will happen? It will go to call the data. But before data has called, since it is multi-threaded environment, if any other function call is there as async, then perhaps that will also be executed without waiting. So in a multi-threaded environment, it is better to use awaited functionality if you have any dependency. So I assume that this response should be collected. After that only rest of threads should be running. So I said please await. Await means awaited functionality for that get function. So if it is post function, you have to say post as async. If it is get, then get async. So this time it is a get function. So I said get async, and endpoint already available in this string variable. So I passed first parameter as endpoint URL. Second parameter optional, but you can give it. What is this? It is about response can be modified or only response can be read. Okay. So this time I want a response should not be modified. It should be only read. Once I read and reserialize and store in some other, then only I can modify that object. But this response should not be modifiable in between. This is for some security reason we apply, but it is optional. Now response you got. In this response, you will get the success code. The 200 OK is the success code, right? That is called success code. So another property along with 200 OK will be there. That property name is success status code. So that is success status code will be OK, and actual success status code will be 200. So I'm just checking, is it true or false? If it is true, then it is good symbol. If it is false, something going wrong. So if it is true, then what to do? Focus on line number 20 and 21, what I'm doing. Inside response, guys, this response is whole object response, na? Like response code, response message, inside that some JSON data will be there, many things. So from that response, I have to get the content only. First of all, I have to read the content. So always that returned output list of something in the JSON format will be kept inside a property called content. The response.content, that means that JSON data what came from service side. Read as async, read as string async, that means that content called JSON data you are converting to string and reading as asynchronously. Why? Because this is also one function call, this is also one function call. You are saying that if that has finished its work, then only you go and get it. And result is the property which will return purely that JSON data. So if you put a breakpoint here in line number 20, then this data will be your JSON data which has been returned back by the service. I was telling you about deserialization. If somebody wants, I don't have any additional activity after getting that JSON as it is, I want to display, which is not meaningful because simply JSON data nobody displays. You have to convert to model data or list of model data. After that only you have to display. So there is something called JSON convert, but that will come under the Newton sub.json. So right click here, and if you by chance have this, it's very good. If you don't have, then you can install the package called Newton sub.json. Okay, so what you do, you just go here. Currently we are in the MVC layer, so go to dependency, right click and add project, add manage from a NuGet package. There you say Newton sub.json. So just search by the Newton sub, automatically it will come. Very first one, Newton sub.json. Check it out. It should be stable as well as long-term support. So go with it. It is saying you have some error already. You comment it and then add it. Absolutely, I have told you also. If any error is there already in code, you should not add any. What do you say? Library. So I will comment it and try it again. Already added. It gave the warning, but it has added. So what I will do, I will take that Newton sub.json namespace there. So control dot using. Now, what kind of data you want to receive? Real reservation. So real reservation. Now this info will be model data. That means deserialized data. So this function is called Deserialize Object. JSON convert dot deserialize object within generic. You have to give the either class name or list of class name what you want to convert to. So this data is nothing but JSON data. So that JSON data I want to convert to list of real reservation. But conditions apply. This data UTF-8 JSON data should have exact same matching properties what you have in that inside this class. That's why I said this property should be exact same spelling, same data type, everything same as per the API document. So what it will do is it will pick the data from JSON and it will search where is that property and it will put it into object of this class. And finally it is a list of object. So automatically it will prepare that list of object. Then what you have to return that into your view if you have any. So what I will do, I will prepare a view and I will try to display that as well. So let's quickly come here and prepare a folder under the view. And inside this index, my view name is index. So I will prepare that. This part already you know, just to complete the flow I'm doing. So index without any model this time. And my model should be I enumerable of real reservation. So this whole work for consuming HTTP client is doing. So HTTP client object is capable of consuming whatever you are returning. Once it consumed as JSON, after that it is all your call, whether you want to convert to model or list of model or anything. Taking some time. If it is HTTP post, guys, like here I gave read async, right? Get async. You have to say post as async. So we'll do one example for post also, then it will be clear. So here you go. What should be the model, guys? @model. My model is available in this namespace. So I can take that I enumerable of dot real reservation, and here you prepare the form. This is just one list to be displayed, right? So model might be having that list. So simply say one table and one tier. So I'm not displaying everything, just out of 4 or 5 things, 2 things I'm just displaying to quickly finish it. So suppose I want to display PNR number and reservation status. Okay, so 2 things I'm displaying. You can display all things. So PNR and status. Okay, so here you go. @for each. Model. I'll display PNR number and reservation status. All right. So let's build it once. If all good, then we can debug once. A small change you have to do in the service side as well. For HTTP get no change, but for HTTP post you have to do here from body. Basically, body contains the form. So MVC works from body. So that form will come inside that itself. If you see the structure also, you can see body contains form, isn't it? Not that form contains body. So MVC consumer says, I will supply everything from body only. Who knows there are 2 form inside the body? So how can you say only form? Then it will collect the first form, second form it may not collect. That's why while consuming from the consumer, whether it is .NET consumer, whether it is PHP, Java, any technology, they know that the data always should be passed through body. If I'm passing through form, problem is if I have a form, it may collect it. If I don't have a form, then what? Imagine another XYZ technology, they don't have something called form, they have only body. Then also it should work, because your web API should work as per cross technology, cross operating system, cross language. You should not restrict only as .NET things. So that's why always better to give body, so that body is part of HTML. Any data will come as input. It will definitely come from body only. Okay. So let's go to our controller. Put a breakpoint here and make sure that is up and running. I'll run this and already have the breakpoint. Cross check once the port number that we have really mentioned there with this port number of the runnable 7037, right? So go to your consumer and check that 7037. Okay, so because it's local host, so every website, every application, every API, it will identify as per the port number. So if that port number is correct, then it should do our work. Put a breakpoint here, put a breakpoint here, and then continue here. Cross check whether your service is up and running. You can see it is up and running. Now you come to the consumer side. Guys, at a time, both you will not need ever, but sometimes you will need the first one, sometimes you may need second one. That's why full flow.
Sir, default controller name we have to give.
I believe we gave it, right?
In the consumer,
We
not
gave it.
Okay.
We gave it. Came here, F10, F10, 10. In fact, I can directly continue because I have a breakpoint also there. So continue and again continue. There also I have a breakpoint in the service side. Can you see? From second application, control came to first application. Now I will put a breakpoint here, line number 22, and then continue, because this kind of things we have already tested. Okay, then only we are using that service, right? So instead of F10, 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 simply I will put a breakpoint and I will continue. Check it out, 4 rows has come. Again I will click here continue, so that it will go back to the consumer. Okay, it came to consumer, you can see. So check it out, 200 okay might have come here, and that is exactly I'm checking here. If it is really 200 okay, then it will be true. If it is true, then it should come inside. If it is coming inside, then I will first of all collect the result set into this data. If you click on this magnifier button, you can see clearly that JSON data what has been supplied from your web API to your consumer. So let me paste it here. Once you got it, lightweight you got it, so that data transportation will not take more time or more memory. Now it is your duty, as per your technology, what you are using in the consumer side, you have to use the respective package or DLL, whatever it is. Every technology has their own way of deserialization. So we are here in .NET, we use Newton.json to deserialize it. So F10 further, do whatever do. So in info now become the object-oriented data format. Can you see? It is again a generic collection of type called rel reservation. So every object you will get their respective data has been deserialized now. So that deserial data I will send it to the view and I will try to display it. Check it out if it is displaying. Okay, so this is a simple service. It picked the all data and displayed it. Now imagine you want to send some input parameter or anything. Now you have to think, if I'm passing as input parameter, should I pass as a query string or should I pass as a object data through body? If you want to pass through body, then in your target, those things also you have to mention in API document. Okay, imagine this is your HTTP GET function. Now if you have not written anything, just focus on line number 26. So you are accepting one query string parameter here, isn't it? So if query string parameter, then consumer also has to pass as a query string parameter. Imagine here you might have written something like from body, one class name, one object name. What does it mean? You are expecting that data not through query string parameter, through body, header and body. Okay, so that body you have to write like this, line number 34 I have written. So if it is a simple parameter, then you have to write like this. If it is a bunch of parameter at a time, then you have to use like this. So if you are using class name, then you must write from body. If you are using simple parameter, then you must write like this. So this time, if somebody says to consume this service, what are the changes I need to do? Who can tell? Imagine instead of this function call, I want to this function call. Then consumer side, what changes you are thinking? Do I need change anything in this get async? No, because both are HTTP get, so it should be same get async only. Only thing is one parameter has to pass along this
child parameter.
Yeah, child endpoint URL. You have to pass that parameter. So that means somewhere you have to get that parameter in the front end. Maybe one text box is there or something is there. Somewhere you are getting that parameter and you are storing in a variable. That variable you have to plug it here right after this. Imagine that variable name is something like string x, and you have collected that parameter like this, for example. Then like this you have to do question mark plus x equal to, okay, and here you have to pass that x like this you have to pass, okay, question mark whatever the actual variable name, and
Here the parameter name should be PNR or some X. This X is equal to.
I'm just putting anything, if it is PNR, then you have to write here also PNR. Just
No,
like
sir. What I mean, like in the web method itself, we are taking a the string PNR.
Then here also you have to write PNR. Okay. Anything, I mean, whatever variable that you have to write here. So I'm just putting that under comment, and just for your understanding, you can try yourself. Service I have already defined. You have to uncomment and test once. Okay. So this one already we did. Just you have to comment this line, uncomment this line, and test it once. So if I want to put actual data, I think 5 times 1 up to my understanding. I have given one example data. I will write exact data so that you just need to uncomment and run it once. Five times 1, 5 times 2, like that I have given. So just go there and say 5 times 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pass that here. Okay. So just comment this line, uncomment that line, and you see what happens. And here also you have to change little in this line. Because if you see here, in your second service, yeah, second service is called returning one object, right? Not list of object. The response info type you have to prepare. That too, not list of object, single object. Okay. So should I give that as a homework? Little changes you should try yourself, right?
Right.
All right. So now let's go for the HTTP post function. Okay. One HTTP post function we have here. So what I will do, I will go there and prepare one create methodology, so that we are good to go to next level. HTTP post, let me cross check service is ready or not. From body, absolutely fine, it is checking it, and go to check the repository, what is there, whether we have done something here. Yeah, we have already done everything correctly, right? Now endpoint URL also I think we have decided as per saving data. So what is that? This one, save data. So I'm just copy pasting this below. So HTTP GET. This is our endpoint URL. Now we have to go to our consumer side and we have to prepare some infrastructure ready before consuming it. So what I will do is I will prepare one create action. Okay, so should I give here one hyperlink kind of thing somewhere here? At the rate HTML data action link, click to add new record, create. So same spelling, I will prepare one action method there. These are all you know already, guys, huh? Nothing to take tension that these are all also something related to Web API. Only 10-20% part we are learning new about Web API. Other things you already know. So just compare with your existing knowledge and take it easy, nothing difficult. So async. Oh, async, async, task, action result, create. So one will be HTTP GET, one will be HTTP POST, right? So this one I can do same, without task async also, because this is just to get the form on the screen, right? So that time I'm not calling any web API or anything. So return view, but HTTP POST needs this async. So this one is my HTTP GET, and I'll copy paste this once more, and this one I will say HTTP POST. We have to plan something out as per our service. So check the API document, what format they are receiving, what format they are returning. So one is rel reservation, which is already done there, I think, rel reservation, and only response base we have to take it there. So where is the response base? Come on, the response base, this one. These things must have been already mentioned in your API document. You have to refer that and prepare accordingly. So come here and create a model named as response base. As I said, any name you can give, but not a good idea. Better to give same name of the class, but it will work for any name. Property, if you have different, then it will not work. So it cannot deserialize. That's why I will take same property, consumer. All right. Then what? Let's go to our controller, and here you prepare response base. Acha, input parameter is rel reservation, right? So input parameter is rel reservation. Done. Skeletal structure is done. Now first activity is on HTTP GET. I need a screen. Okay, on HTTP GET I need a screen. So that screen will submit the data as per my requirement. So I will build it once. consumer repository don't need this time because we don't have any local database as of now. We are first focusing on the web API consumption, right? So this could be your actual application architecture. Today we have 2 layers, maybe in real-time project, maybe 5 layers also, who cares? So like that you have to prepare. So come to your controller is already having everything. Only thing is you have to add few codes here. Yeah, we have to add a view, right, with the name of create. So go here, add a view. The name of create. @model. This time I enumerable or simply?
Without enumerable.
Yeah. If it is in another layer, then you can have full path, but fortunately it is in the same layer, so we can say @model, simply the class name. What else?
Text boxes for.
We have to create a form, right? So here we go and prepare a form. @ All right, so here we have to prepare how many things. Let's see how many things is required here. Reservation ID, it will be auto-generated, only travel date and PNR number, right? The PNR number and reservation status. That too, general process I'm showing, otherwise nobody is typing it from the front end. Okay, so just I'm showing a general process. So I'm taking some PNR number and reservation status at least. This one we can decide in the backend itself. So let's go here and say PNR number and reservation status just to enter some default data. So it is not appropriate this time because nobody types these things. It will be everything decided in the backend. From front end, what we have to enter is name of the person, travel date, which train number. So those things I have not taken in that class. That's why I'm not typing those test bugs. Some test bugs I'm just mentioning. Understand the process flow, not about the what we are saving, what we are not saving. So I will say PNR number. Text for. This is for PNR number. Similarly, one more text box will take just for sample purpose. Otherwise, all these 4 data is not supposed to send from the front end. That is for sure. It will all decide in the back end only. PNR number, after that reservation status. And then I will put a breakpoint, break line, and then one. Now what to do? You have to collect that data here. Already you are collecting. Once you collect the data, then you have to consume that HTTP client part. So that I will again copy paste from here. And I will change as per our port number. And our class input. So this is not required. Rather, I have to say reservation dot double date equal to date time dot now dot add days of some 24 or say 30 days or whatever. And this RESRV that I have to pass as content. So where is this is client HTTP client endpoint URL little bit I have to change child URL part. So child URL is this much. Alright. Now you check what to do. My actual object is RESCRV, right? So I'll take it here. Consumer has to convert to JSON and pass now, because consumer has collected line number 42. You check RESRV. What is this? It's a model data, isn't it? Model data is always in the object oriented data format, not JSON. So I have to convert to JSON and pass it. So see this line. If you're passing that data, what I'm doing, I'm saying JSON convert dot serialize object. That time we use deserialize object, but this time I use serialize object, because understand the difference. There I got the JSON, but I want to use it as model data. But here I already collected model data from the screen, and that model data I want to convert to JSON and pass it, right? And second parameter you have to give what format, UTF-8 format and application/JSON. Okay, so you gave it. That means your content is now ready. Now focus on this. So you have to go for async, I told. So async, and then task of this. So your HTTP GET is simple. It doesn't mean that your HTTP POST also has to be simple. It may be async function also, because you want to call some API inside that. So in WebAPI and in MVC, in current generation, I mean to say, every technology, not only .NET, every technology uses awaited functionality. That is one additional benefit on top of 10 years back what people were calling. So that time what was happening, it was difficult to control in multi-threaded environment. If 3 API are being called, then all are being called in their own way, like a multi-threaded environment. But sometimes it is important, if I'm accessing this API, then collect the data, and after that only you allow others to join. So that's why awaited I'm using. Otherwise it is not mandatory. If I will remove this await and this async also, it will work, because we have only one function call. But keep this habit. Okay, in real time you may need 2-3 functions call also, 2-3 API call in the same function. So await is good always, so that you can differentiate. Acha, function number 1, function number 2, not waiting for function number 3. Then 1 and 2 don't use await. Function number 4 waiting for function number 3. Use function number 3 as await. Those kind of things you have to apply. It's just an additional advantage. Otherwise, yes, you can call without await also. Now my content is serialized format of my content. That means my object data has been serialized to content. So if you put a breakpoint here in line number 54, you will get the JSON data content. And previously we are calling get async. Now you have to say post async. In post async, again 2 parameters. First is endpoint URL, second is content if any. This is optional. Imagine you want to call a function without supplying any data, then that also you can call, but that doesn't make any sense. HTTP post function always expects some posted data. That's why most of times you will see post async will have minimum 2 parameters. One is which endpoint URL I have to hit and what content I have to pass. And the rest of the things is same. If everything goes well, then it will be status will be okay, and I will say data saved successfully. If something wrong, then it will say not okay, or maybe apart from 200 some other code it will come. So that time it will come to else part, and then it will say data not saved. Now what I have to do, I have to create one view here, and I will display this view info. Build it once before creating the view. I think we have not run the service also. Make sure that service is up and running before you test it. Something wrong, we have missed something, semicolon or something. Let's check. Here some curly bracket is missing. We will give one curly bracket additional. Okay, so this is for function close. Sorry, class close. This is for function close, and this is for using close. Okay. Now let's go to the index, and on click of index it should come here, and then it should go to view, and on submit button it should come to this HTTP post, and it should collect the data, and from this reservation data it will serialize, right? I think all should be good. So let's put a breakpoint here and here, as well as in the service side. In the controller already it is there, and if you want you can have the reservation also. So somewhere here I'll put a breakpoint. Okay, you have to up and run. Acha, in Postman also you can test this service. Okay, HTTP post service by supplying some body. Did we test yesterday HTTP post service by Postman, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then directly we'll test in the consumer side. So let's go to consumer side. We have already put breakpoint everywhere. So let's run it and see. Anything mistake I did? Child URL and all, I have changed it. Let's see. If any mistake it will come, then we can fix it. First it will go to index action method, because my default action method is still index only, and in index action method I have given some okay, yeah. So it came to service, and from service it collected the data, and it is supposed to display the data. I have given a lot of breakpoints, that's why it is holding there. So click here. So it came here, and go to the function and go to the this. Should I say 77777? And reservation status is something like CONF, confirmed. Then click on submit. It will come here, and first of all we collected the data, right? Double data I have not collected from the screen, so I decided in the backend. And what else? So here you go. There should not be any problem. So I will put a breakpoint here in line number 57, and I will click on continue. Let's see. So here it goes. Check it out whether the data has been collected. Acha, 35 seconds. That is one factor, guys. I will tell you. Basically, lot of breakpoint you should not give. Okay, because while calling the API, there is something called timeout. So what you do one thing, remove all breakpoints. Okay, give one breakpoint so that we can quickly complete it. So this side in controller I will give one, and here I will give one, and that side I will, because we have already tested most of things. So in consumer side I will delete everything. Somewhere here I will put the, this is service now, not consumer. I deleted service. So here I'll put a breakpoint, single breakpoint, and here also I'll put a single breakpoint. Okay, that's it, not much. And in the consumer side, what I will do, I will put a breakpoint directly here. Rest of all I will delete. Okay, stop debugging and debug it again. Delete all breakpoints. Only one breakpoint you put, that is post call of the service. Okay, so let's run it. Make sure your service is running now. Then come to consumer and then run it. So breakpoint I have given in line number 57, so that after service call it will wait, not the before service call or during service call, it will wait. Other things mostly we have tested it. Detail it. Click on the save button or what? Again, let's. Oh, I have not typed yet. Okay, so some 88888 5 times 8 I gave, and then click on confirmed. Click on submit. Let it come here, and click here, and click here. Check it out. It is coming. So click here again. Now response you got 200. Okay. So F10, F10, data saved successfully I gave. Acha, this one I have not displayed, I think, on the screen, right? So it will not do anything. So we have to do that as well. That view bag you have to display, then only it will say data saved successfully. So let me do that. Other things is working fine. So we have to just go and give some information here that data saved successfully. So here you go. Give some paragraph saying that data saved successfully. All right. So any question, guys?
Actually, there is a threading, right? What's the difference between the threading and async await?
Threading is multi-threading, that is using thread start delegate. You refer the C# video what has been shared. There is some chapter called multi-threading. Okay, you will get idea.
Okay. So here there's a session timeout, right? So sometimes if the data we are all receiving from the database, if it's taking more time, so how do we reduce the time?
You can increase the session time wherever you are deploying. In the environment, you can set the session time. Localhost, it is by default 35 seconds. So, but wherever you will deploy, there you have the configurational setup for the session timeout.
So where
You
is
can
it?
increase it or decrease it also.
Okay, where is it settings?
Imagine you are deploying in Azure, you will get Azure session setting. If you are deploying IIS, you have IIS session setting.
Okay.
So you have any environment session setting, you can change it to any.
So it is not in the code. I mean, like a web.config.
No need to go. If code is hard coded, na.
Okay. No. I was asking
Imagine
whether like
three
web.config.
different customers you are deploying.
Yeah.
And first customer wants 1 minute, second customer wants 3 minutes. So it should not be given in code, right?
No, I mean
It
to
should be in the
say,
deployment.
is there any way in like in web.config we used to put the session timeout, right? In
That is
web
different
forms.
session. That is not service call session. That is for your application. Like if you are leaving your page ideally for some time, then the session will be over. That is called user session, not the API call session. Okay.
Okay.
So that is different. This is different. This you will not, don't take the name session, you can take it as timeout. API call timeout, not session actually. Session is not the perfect word.
Okay.
So session is something like, suppose you are ideally sitting and not doing anything and opened that net banking page, you know, after some time it will over now. If you click anywhere it will not work, right? So that is called session, not this one.
Okay.
This one API call timing. You can set in the configuration layer.
Okay. In entity framework, can we call a store procedures like store procedure view like normal?
But that again it will use edu.net library only. Entity framework is what? Edu.net's advanced version, right?
Yeah, because
So
if you have multiple for joints and multiple views,
I will suggest also wherever it is required to call the store procedure. I will suggest also, but yeah, internally it will use same library, edu.net library. That means we are not throwing out an edu.net library when we are installing entity framework, but the
okay,
technique will be as equal as your edu.net only. Okay, so only if it is valid use case, then only you should call the store procedure. Otherwise, not.
okay, so we can have both in the same library,
Why
edu.net and
not? Why not? Yes, you can. You can call a stored procedure using entity framework also. But
okay,
yeah, internally it is using same library only.
okay,
SQL client, SQL command, all those.
okay. Maybe tomorrow can you show an example how to
No,
call?
no, we will have. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Whatever I'm teaching, just focus on that.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other question?
Yes, sir. Sir, string content. What is?
Content is the JSON content.
Okay.
I mean, string content can have XML content, JSON content, any other format content. So this is a class basically. Uh, Whichever you serialize, it will contain that. Currently, I serialize to JSON, so it will contain JSON. If I will serialize to XML, it will contain XML also. So you can have a class object called JSON. Sorry, string content class object.
Okay. Sir, what using block is doing means it is
Using
creating
this
using.
one.
Yeah.
If you are creating an object here, then it have getting a local scope.
Okay.
Imagine this curly bracket is over, line number 69, then automatically all this local scope variable or object, everything, it will dispose.
Okay.
That
Sir,
means it
we
will
can
not be
do
overload to
manually
the
also.
server buffer.
We
Manually
create
also you can do. Manually also you can do, but if you are doing this, then manually no need to do. Like you can have, gc.collect, or you can have a try catch with finally block and clear it. Those are all manually doing. But if you are using this, then it will take care automatically.
Okay. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so as of now, what we did, guys, developing a service with HTTP GET as well as HTTP POST, right? Consuming both HTTP GET and HTTP POST. Along with that, some CRUD operation you can do as of now, right? So your work is now, before you start the project, you have to do all the CRUD operation using API. That means you have now two applications. Okay, one is consumer application, one is service application. Already I showed you one HTTP GET, one HTTP POST. Rest is what? One delete operation is there, one update operation is there. Those things also you try yourself. If any challenges, you discuss with me. Okay, so that at least you will be in a position that simple web API with CRUD operation. I'm done. Okay, so that means MVC with CRUD operation without API, MVC with web API, CRUD operation. This much you should be perfectly fine. Okay, as of now, whatever we did. The remaining things, as I will proceed, I will give you the work in the project itself. So that is my plan. So CRUD operation level, you should not have any doubt. Either it is a simple MVC application, or it is a consumer MVC application with another layer called WebAPI layer, right? So is it very clear, the vision, guys? Next 2-3 days, can I expect you have to be master in CRUD operation with independent MVC application with entity framework and WebAPI connected MVC application with CRUD operation with entity framework? Can I expect this much at least?
Yes, sir.
All of you? Okay. So next class, my plan is I will explain you one, like SDLC, software development lifecycle. First I will explain, and then one project I will explain you. For every project, first module will be always user management module and role management module, right? Nothing related to business operation. So till we are completing that user management and role management module, which is common for every project, that will not need much technology, nothing. Simple module. Parallelly, along with that module, you are going to practice these things, what I targeted for you next 2-3 days. Okay. So I will observe your proficiency in the CRUD operation level, as well as I will continue your SDLC. Okay. And on Sunday, I will plan Sunday or maybe some working day extended time or something. I will plan minimum 2 to 3 hours where I will prepare the architecture of the project in front of you. You will also prepare parallel with me, and I will show you one workflow in entire architecture using entity framework, using WebAPI layer, everything in place, and how at least one workflow will be done in our actual project. So that also you will do parallel with me. Okay. Post that, second module, third module, fourth module, whatever it will come, I will explain the work and I will give you the hint saying that, hey, so and so feature I taught, right? That feature you implement in so and so page of this module. So that thing you have to parallelly understand and then implement. Okay. A review of the code in the project will be individual, because I know everybody are not serious for the project. So whoever is serious for the project, it is worth putting time for them. So whoever is doing the coding parallelly proceeding with me, I will have a separate time for them. Okay, weekly one day I will keep individual meet at least, and other days we will meet group. Okay, individual meet means imagine tomorrow you want to meet me to present some code, then today evening you ping me that, okay sir, I have some either presentation to you or perhaps I have some challenges for my work. Okay, so it may be both way, it may be challenges, a lot of challenges you will face, that is for sure. So those challenges also you have to connect with me and fix it. Everybody's challenge might be different, so no logic of getting together and connecting. So code review as well as your work progress, all these things I will observe by individual meet. Okay, I want to make it mandatory for everybody, because whenever I will explain something about the project, I will explain in the group only. But it is your efforts who will take you to next level. So don't take it is like optional, take it like mandatory for everybody. Okay, because project, if you do a project, the confidence level and simply understanding the concept and implementing hello world kind of thing, that confidence level is always different, I have seen. So don't neglect, involve yourself in the project. As of now, if every day 1 hour I am suggesting, here onwards I will suggest 2 hours every day. I mean, not for class as usual it will go, but your efforts at home. Okay, unless you will put 2 hours every day, it will be difficult for you. So do that, prepare accordingly, and proceed with me as per my plan. Okay, again I will repeat, don't bother what I have not taught, only bother about what I have taught and what I am giving the work. Okay, and do the project. Kumar, you want to say something?
Yes. So while adding a new item, I saw the razor page and razor view. So I can add anything, or is it something different in both?
Razor view you have to add. We are going through razor view in our course.
Okay. Uh, so razor page, when it will be used?
Razor page, it is independent page basically. It will not need any controller or anything. Okay, so That is one more module we don't have in our course because it's not much demanded. So which is our demanded we have in our course.
Okay.
But you can practice yourself. Basically, it will merge both controller as well as this in one page.
Okay.
Because your CS HTML is supporting also CS, right?
Yeah.
So it is just a format, nothing else.
Okay. Also, I saw that there's a class library and there's a class library with .NET Core. So
You have to go class library with .NET Core.
okay, but it has some other features like component, v component, something. So I just confused.
No need to confuse. Whatever I'm teaching, focus on that.
Okay.
It is not MS Word document you are reading. That file, what is there, edit what is there, I will go and read. View what is there, I will go and read. Be matured little. Be technician, not computer operator. Okay. Anybody else? Any other question or queries? All right. So next class when we will meet, I will assume that CRUD operation, single application. Similarly, CRUD operation with double application. One is WebAPI, one is MVC application. So both the things should be ready on hand. Any challenges, most welcome. Okay, connect with me, discuss the challenge, anything, fix it. But yes, it is your responsibility. I will not fall behind if I one by one name done or not, done or not. You are all matured. So I don't want to do like high school teacher. So you guys take your responsibility. Only take help from me. Okay. But yeah, you have to be responsible for your own knowledge. If you are not practicing, then obviously you will not get any question. Then other people will proceed forward and you will not, right? So I'm ready to help up to an extent, but yeah, you have to put some efforts and come back with the challenges. Then only project will be possible, guys. Otherwise, it is difficult. Okay, project is something you have to do, not like teacher is going to do and you will see it. So little bit, change the way you are working, so that more and more modules I can include in the project. And because as per your efforts only, I will decide the modules, right? If I will see that people are very lazy, then one or two module will be the whole project. If I will think that okay, these people are putting at least 2-3 hours per day, even I can include 6-7 modules also, no problem. How many modules more you will develop, that much more challenges you will face and more confidence you will get. So put some efforts and
It's
be
9
visible.
o'clock.
Okay, in the work, work side you be visible. I will come to know whether really you are putting the efforts or simply doing backwards. So put the efforts, review the code. A lot of challenges, lot of best practices you will get from code review also, right? If you wrote 5 lines of code, I will get a chance now to say, "Hare, this is better, this is not better." But if you are not writing 5 lines of the code, how will you get it, right? So technology is like that, guys. How much we will show the interest, that much we will get the reflect out of it. It's not like CBSE curriculum. Now we have 10 topics and we completed our course is over. Not like that. Technology is like how much you will work, that much challenges you will get, and we'll fix it. Definitely there is some structure saying that okay, this we will be learning, but no limit. Okay, no limit, to be very frank. So how much you put the efforts, you will get to know more and more. Same technology, we difference like 7 years experience and 2 years experience level. What is the difference? Is it like for 7 years experience people chapters are more in .NET, and for 1 year experience people chapters are less in .NET? Nothing like that. So it is all work difference only. So put some efforts and I'm there to help you. Okay. So little bit I'm making you guys serious so that when we'll start the project, it should not be like I am only doing all the efforts and you are simply sitting idly. So it should not be like that. All right. So next class, I want to be sure that CRUD operation level everybody should have been completed. I should ask anybody to share the screen and ask, show me where you have practiced the CRUD operation. Not my solution and open and show. Your solution. If I have taken employee, you take it like product. I have taken the product, you take it like customer class. Something like that. little different class name or so, but CRUD operation. Chalo, I will give now itself. Okay, class name also I will tell you for CRUD operation. You take a class, entity class, I mean to say, like every time I used to take employee or product class, something like that, student class, something like that, right? So I will share again the screen for your homework point of view. These guys will not do anything जब तक डंडा नहीं पड़ेगा. So what you have to do, guys, not here. I'll give you separate notepad homework. You take a class, something called examination. Okay, and take a class, something called course. Course will have course ID, course name, and credit also. There is something called credit, right? Credit point. Exam will have exam ID. That exam ID is about which course? That means course ID and date of exam and number of students. Okay, two table. I mean, backend if you say it is table, front end if you say it is entity class, right? So exam is one entity class, examination, and course is one entity class in your entity framework. That means no need to say that table name will be courses and table name will be examinations. Okay, S will be added, right? Now, one screen I want, screen number one, display both table data. Okay, display both table data in one screen. Another screen work I want, save exam data with a drop down. Did I teach drop down, guys, as of now? Can you remind me?
No.
Not yet? Okay. Chalo. Take it test box only then. I will teach you drop down right next class. Okay. We need drop down at the beginning, basically. Drop down, checkbox list, radio button list, like that. Some controls we need. So that I will teach you. Remind me if I will forget next class itself. Because very first module we need it. So save exam data. I will remove this with drop down. Take course ID as well as course name, credit point. Acha, course ID. This is course ID, right? Directly take course ID as a text box only. So take a text box for course ID as well. Because I'm not taught to drop down, so I'm giving this extra point. Otherwise, course is supposed to be a drop down actually, right? Multiple courses, he has to select one. So save exam data, take text box for course ID as well. Other things anyway it will be text box only, and then save it. That is one screen. Save operation, that means C for create. Third, get this both operation will be with the local database. Okay, with the local database. This will be with API database. Make another screen where courses will come from API, all the courses. Okay, all the courses will be coming from API. For each course, there will be a detail hyperlink. Okay. Imagine course ID 1 MCA, course ID 2 MBA, like that. So extremely last column will be detail. Okay. So the moment you are clicking that detail hyperlink, it should take you to another action, HTTP post action method, take you to HTTP post action that will redirect to a page which will fetch all scheduled exam from local database for that course. Make sense? Read this third point. You have an API which is maintaining altogether a different table, okay, which is having all the list of courses. So this is API table and this is your local database table. So local database table format is this. I will make it much clear here. Your MVC application is having also entity framework and your API is also having entity framework. Local database has only one table called examination. API DB is also having one table called course. Make sense? Okay. So your local application has one CRUD operation which is for saving the exam data. Because exam table is local database table. Simply CRUD operation, insert operation, save the data. Right? While typing in the text box, course ID you type manually, 1 or 2 or whatever. That time you are not consuming any API. But action number 2 is with API. So this is without API. And action 2 with API. In the same application only, you might be having two different pages. So this is with API and this is without API. Read this out. If any understanding problem, ask me. I'll clarify you, but you have to do this. So all CRUD operation will be nicely practiced in this. Okay. So CRUD with API assignment. Okay. I'll put that in the Google Drive. So today is Thursday. Monday, I will expect this. You will get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. You complete this. Monday, I will expect it from you guys. All okay? Any challenge to understand the requirement? Everything take text box. Whatever I have taught, only you take that. Not even a single bit of thing you take what I have not taught. That's why I marked here. Take text box only this. Next class, when I will teach you drop down, you can take also drop down. But as of now, you assume it is a text box only. Okay, you are just manually typing it.
So,
yeah.
Sir, course ID will be the primary key, so that also will be in a text box, means that also be changeable like that you have given?
Here course ID is not primary key. Here exam ID is primary key.
Okay. There is for the examination. Okay.
But here course ID is primary key and that one you are not inserting now. You are directly entering some data.
Right.
Okay. In the table itself, directly you are entering some 4 type records. That's it.
Okay.
Only for fetch and display, you are using this API. Okay. Only for fetch and display, you are using this API. The screen will be in web application, MVC application. It is fetching course detail and displaying on the screen. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Anybody else? Any other question?
Yeah, for third
Kumar.
point, it seems there is a when you click on the hyperlink, it will redirect to the HTTP post action. By default, it will be HTTP get action, right? But it will get the
One
data
minute.
from
I think I
database.
did something mistake here.
Yeah.
For each course, there will be a detail hyperlink. Acha. The moment you click that detail hyperlink, correct. You are right. So it will take you to your respective get method, and from there you have to redirect. Absolutely. So detail hyperlink, it should redirect. Directly I will write redirect to na. Okay. So the moment you click that detail hyperlink, it should redirect to a page which will fetch all scheduled exam from the local database from that course. Okay, so this is for local database, second action. But this first action to display all the courses, it will be API call. Okay, so this will be from API call, and this will be from local database. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, so Monday I will see it. But yes, if any challenges, you must tell before that. No need to wait till Monday and saying that no, sir, I could not do because the so and so challenges. If challenge is there today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, any day, 3-4 days you have, you just let me know. I will help you. Okay.